Hey there, my name's Niandra and I want to share 30 basic Mercy tips that every player should be aware of. There's a lot here, so let's get started. So my first tip is you need to be making good use of damage boost because that is one of the main reasons to pick Mercy over other supports who contribute damage directly. You do not need everyone on your team at full health to damage boost, and if you're waiting for that, you will just never use it. My favourite tip to PC players for increasing offensive output has always been play with damage boost held down, then tap healing when you need to, while continuing to hold down damage boost. When you lift your healing finger up, you automatically go back to damage boost, and this can build some really good habits. Generally, you should be aiming for between 2000 and 3000 damage amplified per 10 minutes. However, that advice isn't useful to a new player who is struggling to hit half of that, so gradually work towards it. So aim for 1.2 per 10, then 1.5, then 1.8, and so on. 2. Mercy pairs very well with flying heroes who can provide safety by allowing you to position in the air. That being said, you don't always want or have to do this. Mercy's beam has a maximum length of 15 meters, and quite often you can attach your beam onto Pharah or Echo from the ground, or by GAing and quickly cancelling. Let's say Widow is watching over us. Do I really want to be flying about with Pharah, or is it better to just beam her from cover when possible? 3. You almost never want to heal allies that are full health or anti-naded. Damage boost them instead, especially during the latter. Anti-nade lasts for 3 seconds, so you can track the timer in your head and then switch back. Like, keep in mind, and I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but when you use heal mode and are not healing, what exactly are you contributing to the match? You won't be gaining ult charge and you aren't helping your team win the fight, which is going to be a problem in 5v5 where individual contributions are really crucial. 4. Your beam doesn't disconnect instantly when your target ally leaves range or line of sight. You retain connection for 1.3 seconds, and this timer will reset if you re-enter range or sight, so you can peek indefinitely. I love this aspect of Mercy, and you can get so creative with beam breakage. One of my favourite uses for this is beaming an ally that uses mobility to leave range and either catching up to them or briefly damage boosting them, then doing something else once the beam breaks. 5. At the very start of a King of the Hill round, consider going Lucio, amping your speed, and then switching back to Mercy. This allows your team to get to point quicker and you can easily catch up with Guardian Angel. Be careful though, because some people might steal Mercy when you do this. 6. Mercy has the privilege of being able to beam people while looking in any direction she wants. Keep asking yourself, do you need to be looking at the person you're healing, or can you read the HUD and watch for flankers instead? Keeping your camera view constantly moving will greatly increase your awareness as you see where other teammates are and enemies too. If you notice an enemy is missing from a fight, you can ask yourself where they might be and then play around that. 7. The way Overwatch works is you can usually hold down the buttons for abilities that are not ready yet, and you'll use them immediately once they are available. When coming back from spawn or falling off the edge, you can hold down your Guardian Angel key. My favourite use of this is if you are flying towards a corpse that's about to respawn, hold down your res key to sometimes clutch a revive you otherwise would not get to in time. 8. And on that note, when resurrecting, you should usually be lining your crosshair up with an ally so you immediately move once no longer locked into the animation. In fact, you can hold down your Guardian Angel key while reviving to automatically fly once it's over. 9. If you have Mercy's pistol out, switch to the staff for 1.4 seconds and switch back, you'll find your pistol has been reloaded. In 5v5, you have a lot more opportunities to use Mercy's pistol, like maybe you've spotted a critical enemy or someone confused out of position. That being said, if you find yourself manually reloading the pistol during a fight, it's worth asking yourself, could I be doing something else right now? 10. With the ping system, Mercy has some related to resurrects that you should be using. You can ping souls to say you can res them, and if the ability is on cooldown, Mercy will say she's not ready. This is really useful because sometimes allies will think you have it and will be playing as if you did. 11. Avoid a one-track mind when it comes to healing, and I have 2 examples of what this means. The first is, I have seen a lot of Mercy players who panic when they start taking damage and they start healing their fully healthed beam target because they want to be healed, even though damage boost would be more beneficial. In fact, damage boost could actually potentially kill the enemies after them faster. The other example is a Mercy player who sees an injured ally too far away to heal, so they heal their currently fully health target while they move towards the injured one when they could be damage boosting here as well. 12. Okay, so I'm gonna super jump by pressing crouch, and I'm going to keep holding down my GA key while I launch upwards. Okay, now I'm gonna super jump and let go of GA as soon as I press crouch. As you can see between the two clips, my GA cooldown starts a lot sooner when I don't hold the button down while launching, meaning I can do my next one sooner. 13. During Valkyrie, Mercy can see enemy health bars. This subtle benefit doesn't seem like much, but it can be so extremely powerful in the right hands. Don't be afraid of pinging those who appear low. If an enemy is in the back and your team can't reach them, consider using your pistol if you think you can get results in a timely manner and your team can afford your brief absence. 14. Mercy can benefit from keeping a small distance from allies. I generally avoid playing next to my other support so we can't both be hit by the same things. Keep in mind, Mercy cannot Guardian Angel to allies that are within 5 meters of her, and I've seen players get screwed over by this because they and an ally are both backing up together, so Mercy cannot make distance. 15. Mercy will usually be the last player alive in a lost team fight, which you sort of want to aim for. If you do find yourself alone after all your teammates have perished, don't resist and stagger yourself. If there is a pit you can throw yourself into, that is ideal because it means the enemy won't get ult charge for eliminating you. If it's just you and one other ally left, honestly, it can be worth damage boosting them instead of healing so they perish quicker and get some ult charge from it. Hi there, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to pause the video and say if you are enjoying this, please consider liking, subscribing and joining my Discord for a warm community of Mercy mains. Thank you. 16. Super jumping is fun and it can be really useful, but most of the time you generally want to use it to position, not as positioning. A tracer can still get you above your team, but not so much if you super jump onto high ground instead. Make sure you're not actually putting yourself in more danger by spamming super jump, especially when you're positioned behind your team. For example, if your team is here, are you safer bouncing up and down over your shield, mind you, or are you safer just playing in the back here? I don't know, I sometimes think that like Mercy montages and Mercy TikToks make it look like your positioning should always be very flashy and extravagant when sometimes it's just kind of boring. 17. If you hold jump while in the air, you will descend slowly with your wings out. If you tap jump instead, they will remain closed, making your hitbox a bit smaller. 18. When Mercy is in Valkyrie, she doesn't gain ult charge. This means if your team has won a fight or you can generally just get away with it, wait until Valkyrie is over to heal people so you can start building your next one. This can honestly be amazing, like you can end Valkyrie and almost immediately be 25% to your next one. 19. Generally you can see who your other support is healing pretty easily, so watch them to see if your injured ally needs you both. For example, here I can see my Ana healing Cassidy, who is behind a Sigma shield, meaning he's likely not under pressure. Does Cass need both of us healing him, or can I damage boost Ashe instead and increase overall team utility? 20. The support role passive is the only way for Mercy to heal herself. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, the average BAP and Ana are probably gonna struggle to heal you while you're darting about everywhere like the DVD logo on 10 times speed. Because of this, it's really important for you to be able to break line of sight on enemies long enough via movement or walking around corners for the passive to kick in. Sometimes it can be worth pausing and regaining some health before repositioning. 21. Allies get more ult charge when damage boosted, and there is so much you can do with this. You could damage boost allies that are close to ult so they definitely get it. You can also blue beam allies that have just switched to catch their ult up, and this is especially good now that players retain some ult charge when switching heroes. If your team is running characters who combo ultimates and one of them falls behind, you can catch them up. I'm sure you could think of some other ways to use this as well. 22. If you have no allies around to attach your staff onto, take out the pistol. If someone tries to attack you, you don't want to be defenseless, especially if you're coming back from spawn. Even if you don't win the 1v1, you'll probably get some ult charge from it. 23. If you have Valkyrie ready and your other support doesn't have their ult, try to look for healing, especially big amounts on your tank that you can leave alone and let the other support take care of. This is because they will get ult charge from it while you would not. 24. Remember, there are no bad damage boost targets, only better ones. It's not just the DPS that you can and should blue beam. Some other tanks can be monsters too, Zarya especially. Your other support should also be doing damage when they can, which can be useful as well. I like to blue beam, say, Moira against slippery targets during a stall, or Ana when I can see her scoped in. Really, no one is bad, but do consider damage drop off and range. 25. If you Guardian Angel towards an ally while there is a prop or piece of terrain in the way, you can get stuck on it and your momentum bar will continue to charge. This can allow you to get a full bar without getting close to your teammate who might be in a dangerous position. 26. You can switch off Mercy and immediately back to her to reset the cooldown of Resurrect at the expense of some ult charge. This should mainly be used when stalling on defense or if you died soon after your last Valkyrie. 27. Having high sensitivity is usually recommended for Mercy because of how often you need to look around and sharply change direction. However, you need to keep in mind that most FPS aim related guides recommend you have low sensitivity if you want to land shots. This means you don't want to carry your Mercy sensitivity onto other heroes, you sorta need to be comfortable switching. There's this whole meme-y stereotype about how Mercy players can't aim, but I honestly think a lot are better than they think they are and would instantly improve if they tinkered with sensitivity on other heroes. 28. Although Mercy can't move much during Resurrect, you aren't completely frozen either. You almost always want to twist yourself around a corner, or hover in the air, or dance about during Valkyrie, just something to make sure you aren't completely stationary. Just remember that you can cancel your own res by leaving the 5-meter range yourself. Also, please check out my video on Superjump Reses if you have not already. 29. Remember that allies are dead for roughly 10 seconds, and while there are times where going for a res immediately will be the right play, sometimes waiting and watching the enemy first will give you insight. For example, in this clip, I had just gotten a pick as Sigma and knew Mercy had res. I then watch her very obviously move towards it. If Mercy had watched to see if I was distracted first or made her movement unpredictable, maybe she could have got it. Now let's go on to the final tip. When you press jump during Guardian Angel, Mercy will jump in the direction she's facing, right? This can be useful in situations like this where I want to beam my Ashe but I don't have sight on her. I do however have my soldier by here who can be used as an indirect route to get to Ashe. Using one ally to get to another one like this will usually be a lot safer and quicker than just walking over myself. And there we go, that's all from me this time. I will be honest, I originally meant for these tips to be a lot shorter. Thank you so much for watching, feel free to subscribe and join my Discord, and have a nice day.